Did you ever imagine your research would feed billions of people? Today, I'm sitting with a world-renowned scientist, the World Food Prize, the Norman Borlaug Award, the Japan Prize, the Padma Shri in 2000, the father of super rice, and he was pivotal in the green revolution in India, Dr. Gurdev Singh Khush. Rice production increased threefolds from 257 million tons in the 1960s to 626 million tons in 2006. Dr. Khush has worked tirelessly in plant breeding and has developed more than 300 varieties of rice.
Old varieties used to take 6 months. This could be harvested in 3 months.
3 months.
So I had never seen rice plant. And Punjabis didn't eat rice.
Wheat. Wheat was the predominant crop.
Exactly, you see rice varieties in Punjab, they were very suitable. 90% of the rice grown in the world is grown in Asia. 90%. Everywhere it was a breakthrough. That's how the rice production increased so rapidly. The Green Revolution, you know, there were a lot of problems of
there was
food
hunger, there was food insecurity, famines.
And food security, poverty, all this prosperity in Punjab because of rice and wheat.
Rice and wheat. Hello everyone, welcome to the Rising Immigrant Show. This is season 3 of this show and we're here in the Bay Area, California. Today I'm sitting with a world-renowned scientist, Dr. Gurdev Singh Khush. He's a plant breeder and genetist. He got his BSc in agriculture from Punjab Agricultural University and he got his PhD from University of California, Davis in 1960s. He immigrated here in 1957. Dr. Khush has worked tirelessly in plant breeding and has developed more than 300 varieties of rice, out of which IR36 is the most widely planted rice variety globally. Dr. Khush has received several honors and awards, including which is the World Food Prize, the Norman Borlaug Award, the Japan Prize, the Padma Shri in 2000. His research has contributed significantly in improving food insecurity issues and also alleviating poverty and hunger across the world. Because of this work, the rice production increased threefolds from 257 million tons in the 1960s to 626 million tons in 2006, which helped reduce the prices of rice across the world, especially in developing countries and in Asia, and also helped, alleviate the problem of hunger in these countries. He is called the father of super rice and he was pivotal in the green revolution in India. It is a great feat for a scientist. He is a living legend. He's 92 years old, and allow me to welcome Dr. Gurdev Singh Khush. Welcome to the show, Dr. Singh.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very well, very well.
First of all, thank you so much for welcoming us into your home today. We're sitting in your backyard in Davis and it's such a beautiful day. And I'm so honored to be sitting in your company today. It's an absolute honor for me.
My honor to have you.
Dr. Khush, I wanted to dive into your journey from the very beginning. Where were you born? When and how did you move to the US? I know pieces of it. I know your biodata, but I don't know your journey.
Okay.
So take me through that.
All right. So Jasmine, I was born in a small village. Name is Rudki. It's about 8 kilometers from Fagwada or Guraya town. And it's a village where the very little education. So my father was the first in our village to graduate from high school.
Oh.
So that's one of the very important contribution to my life. So I was actually born in my mother's village because I am the eldest in the family, and the lady's first child is delivered in her own village, my Nanke.
Yeah.
So I was born in Khatkadkala, which is also the village of Bhagat Singh, Shahir-e-Azam Bhagat Singh. So my earlier years were mostly in my mother's village, and I grew up there for 6-7 years, and I have fond memories playing with my cousins, doing the agricultural operations, making little fields, irrigating them. There used to be mango trees on the farm, so I remember climbing on the mango trees with my cousins, and also helping little bit with my uncles. So I have fond memories of growing up in Roorkee, in Khadkad Kalan. And when I was about 7 years old, my father said, "Okay, now you come to Roorkee," because my younger brother was born there in Roorkee, and so he was he was being taken care. So asked me to come to Roorkee, and when I came, he naturally asked me to go to school, which I didn't like. I didn't like going to school at all. One thing is that I didn't have those cousins to play with, and also there used to be a sort of a feeling there that the teachers beat the children,
Yeah. And they probably did.
They did, they used to. So anyway, I was scared. I didn't want to go to school. And my grandmother took to the school, and she left there and she came back. Before she came home, I got shorter route, came home. I didn't want to. So this happened a couple of times. Then my father asked me, said, you have to make something out of you. You can't really stay as a farmer, the farmer's life is difficult. You have to get the education.
So was your entire family in farming?
Yes.
Entire family was in
farming. Right. So all my uncles, everybody. Anyway, so he convinced me that I should start schooling. So he convinced me such that I decided that I have to study, and I am going to top of every school I am going to study. So I graduated from the village primary school. There was no high school in our village. So there is another village called Bundala where there was a Khalsa High School. That's where I started my education. After finishing the primary school, we used to walk to school every day. In the morning, come back home afternoon. It used to be fun. There were other 7, 8, over 10 boys from our school. We used to walk together 6, 7 kilometers, and while going, discussing the village gossip and everything, walking, going to the school. So I graduated from Khalsa High School in 1951 at the top of my class, and at that time our teachers were very good. They used to take very good interest, Our headmaster used to take the classes of the boys who were very bright or brighter, and he will hold the classes after the school to give us more
like extra care,
extra education. So I remember that, it was a Khalsa high school, but the headmaster was a Hindu gentleman, very devoted. So I graduated in 1951.
That is when India was newly divided, right? India and Pakistan after the 1947 partition.
It was divided in 47. Yeah. I still remember some of the events of 47, what happened. And so...
Did it affect you and your family?
Not really, because we were on this side of the border.
So you didn't have to cross.
We had relatives in the West Punjab, but they moved, and they settled in East Punjab.
Got it.
So we were not affected, but I do have some very sad memories of partition days. And so after graduation from high school, I was more interested in going to medical school. But my father said, no, agriculture is better because he was himself interested in farming, you know, we had a small farm and we decided, and he decided that I should go to Government Agricultural College, Ludhiana, which later on became Punjab Agricultural University. At that time, that agriculture college used to be in Lailpur. And after partition, the non-Muslim staff, they moved to East Punjab, and they had for a couple of years classes at Khalsa College, Amritsar. And in about 49, they moved to Ludhiana and rented a building of it used to be Khalsa Women's High School. It was a nice building.
Right.
And they rented that and started the Punjab Agriculture College there. So that's where most of my graduation was. It's in Kumar Mandi in Ludhiana, very
I'm very
crowded
familiar.
area.
I
now.
grew up there, so
Right.
I'm very familiar.
Right. So we used to, you know, our hostels were little further on Jaground Road, and we will walk over to the college. And hostel life was very good. We had our own cook, which was from somewhere from Kangra area, and we were about 20 boys in the hostel. He will cook for us, and it used to be very
Fun.
interesting. And
Were you always curious about science?
always.
But you grew up on the fields. Like, what made you curious about science?
Well, I wanted to see the plants, how they grow, how they produce the flowers, grains, you know, what are the different parts. So learning about the plants was my interest from the very beginning. Even, you know, when I took part in the agricultural operations like harvesting, planting,
Sure.
plowing, so that used to be my interest. And so it was good. So when I joined agricultural college, they used to give us the practicals, plow with the bullocks, you know.
Oh,
So you can say so much has changed since then. So I graduated or finished my BS degree in 1955. And at that time, there were very little facilities for higher education. I wanted to go beyond BSc. And so what I thought I should explore the possibilities going abroad. My father's friend was settled in Canada, in Vancouver area, and I wrote to him for possibility of studying in Canada. And so he sent me the admission letter to the University of British Columbia and a sponsorship letter. So I received those documents. Then another serious problem was at that time to get the passport. Government was not giving the passports unless it was really you have to struggle hard. And they wanted to see if we had the resources. So they wanted me to show that I have 10,000 rupees in bank account.
so how did you do that?
So asked the money from relatives and collected 10,000 rupees, put it in
Must
the
have
bank.
been a lot in
It
1960s,
was that
right?
time
It was
lot
a lot.
of money, lot of money. So I got the passport and I applied for visa to go to Canada to study there. And my visa application was rejected.
It was rejected, okay.
At that time, you know, they were not allowing the non-white population coming into Canada and US. That's why these heard these stories about Kamaga Tamaru, all these immigrants came, they were not allowed to enter. So I was naturally a little dejected when I received this letter. So I thought I will go to England. At that time, you could go to England without visa because we were members of the Commonwealth.
Sure.
So I went to England and I stayed near London at a town called Southall. And I started working in a factory. And I thought while I am waiting to go to US, let me do some jobs. So,
But how did you decide you wanted to ultimately go to the US? Like,
so
was that your goal
because
always?
I did not get to go to US to Canada,
So
so
your-
USA was
your
the second.
second
Actually,
option for
US it turned out that was better choice.
Sure,
you know.
sure, yeah.
Right. So I worked there in a factory for a year and a half, and I returned the money what I had borrowed,
the 10,000 rupees.
10,000 rupees, and saved some money to buy a ticket to USA. While I was there, I applied to 3 universities in USA for admission. I was admitted on all 3. I also got the offer of scholarships
Very
from all 3 of them.
So what was admission process like in the 1960s? I can't for me it's difficult to wrap my head around it. Would you go in person? Like how was it?
No, you see, I wrote the letters to all these universities, and I submitted my graduation certificate. It was first division, and so admission was not difficult. And at that time also the USA was opening up to the foreign students. That was 1957. 57. So they were opening up, and at that time also some money was becoming available for attracting these students. And so I applied for admission to 3 universities, and the one I selected was University of California, Davis. So that was a nice because California has a climate like Punjab.
Yeah, it's like Punjab.
It was like Punjab, and they offered me an half-time assistantship, which was good because I could study
And also make some
work
money,
in the
yeah.
lab, and that gave me $173 half-time. Which was good, which was great.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had 30 rupees for rent, 30 rupees for food, rest was available. So it was
Simpler times, easier times, right?
easier time, and I had a bicycle to go to the university.
So you were very happy.
Very happy, very. So when I started admission, I was lucky to have admission with the very top scientist, Professor Stebbins. He was a member of the US National Academy, very well known, author of several books. And so I was lucky he actually university assigned me to work with him. So I was discussing with him that I want to go for masters in genetics. He said, well, okay, you can register for masters. If you have good grades in the first 2-3 semesters, you can go for PhD. So that was lucky because I didn't do any masters. I went directly for
straight
PhD.
away to PhD.
Straight away for PhD. So I joined there in 1957. I got PhD in 1960 in 3 years.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's probably like quicker than anybody else. Yeah.
So I was very fortunate,
Sure.
and I had good support. I had few other friends from India. We had we rented a room together. We used to cook
So it was
our
fun.
food and ourselves.
So what was it like being an immigrant in the 1960s in California?
Very nice. Very good respect. The foreign students were treated very well. There was no discrimination. Even now, students are good in the universities.
Good.
And we never had any incidents where I felt that this was not a place to be. I always,
good. That's very
always very, very happy. And once a while, I would go to Yuba City. There were 5 families. Punjabi families living, that was the only one. So nobody in Sacramento or San Francisco, no few, very few, maybe
I'm sure,
handful of Punjabis.
I mean, I think migration started in 1980s mostly, when people started coming to Vancouver and also to this side.
Exactly.
And since then, the influx of people has been higher and higher.
Exactly.
But in the 1960s, it was rare.
Very
Only a
rare.
handful of people would
Mostly
come
students.
here. Yeah.
Mostly students. And so there was one family who was in Sacramento. The gentleman came in 1920s or something, and he had a Filipino wife, not Filipino, the Mexican wife, and they had a daughter. So that's the only family I knew, but they were very helpful. My first night, he welcomed me. I stayed in their home, then went to the university. And so anyway, I finished the doctorate in 3 years. And when I finished, there was one gentleman, another professor, who was on my committee. So PhD committee, there are three members. They examined you. And when I passed my PhD, he said, "You want to work with me for a few months?" He offered me the job. I said, "Oh my God, that's wonderful." And so he said, "Okay, I have the job for 6 months." And he assigned me some problem, genetic problem, which I solved in 6 months. He said, "No, you stay here now."
What was it?
It was one chromosome. I worked on cereal for my PhD, cereal rye, and I worked on tomatoes for 7 years when I moved to that gentleman. So I was working on tomatoes, and tomato has 12 chromosomes. One chromosome was a problem. There was some, we call it translocations, and I found that he was a good geneticist, but for cytology, you need a special effort, you know. And he gave me the problem on cytology too, looking at chromosomes of rice. And I solved that problem. He said, "Okay, now you stay here." So you know, how can you be any happier when professor said, no, you stay here.
Did you ever think of going to the industry or like working outside of academia? Was it ever
never
a thought?
occurred to me.
It never occurred.
Never occurred to me.
So it was very natural for you to keep transitioning within the scientific space.
Scientific area. Yeah. So after 7 years, there were few opportunities came. One thing what happened which also affected my career was that after I started working with this professor, my father died in Punjab. So I went back to see my family. And when I came back, they gave me a visa which was called, which visa required that after I finish my studies there, I should go out of the country.
Oh,
That
so it didn't allow you to stay here.
Exchange visitor visa. They used to call exchange visitor visa. Since I was on the exchange visitor visa, after finishing my work on tomato genetics, I could not accept a job, although I was offered the assistant professor's job at Davis. So I couldn't accept the job. I had to go outside. So I said, okay. I was still there when the director of our institute in Philippines, he came to UC Davis. He was looking for some staff member to hire for the institute.
Sure.
He talked with the chairman of our department that I am looking for some young plant breeder, young geneticist. He recommended my name. He called me for interview. I went to interview in Philippines. That was in 1968, early 1968. Offered me the job. And I had also 2 other jobs at that time.
Such a good problem, right?
No problem.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, one was that if some scientists who had finished degrees in USA, they want to come to India, there were no jobs. at that time, very few jobs. So they established what they used to call it scientist pool, temporary. So ICR gave some money. If scientist he comes, he doesn't have a job, at least he can get some job in a lab by this money. So I was offered a job of pool officer, which I didn't want to because I already got that offer. And also there was another possibility. There was one professor in Argentina who was spending 1 year at Davis.
Oh, so he met you and probably
He met me there. He says, you want to come to University of Tucumán in Argentina? He offered me the assistant professor's job. So I had the 3 jobs after I finished that tomato genetics work. India, Argentina
and also Philippines. So you picked Philippines?
I picked Philippines. We moved.
And that changed the trajectory of your life, right?
Whole trajectory is changed. So you see, if I had been admitted in or given me the visa to go to Canada, it would have been different because there was not much support available.
Right, right.
I got good
Research
support.
was also limited.
That was a, kubede marila to kubeda gaya kam. So I got that opportunity. Rather than going to Vancouver, I ended up in California.
They rightly say when one door is closed for you, another door
Other
opens.
opens. So that was another thing.
Were you married by this time?
So in 1961, as I mentioned, my dad passed away. So when I was there, I spent a couple of months, They said, now you can't go back. You have to get married.
Oh my God.
Well, why not? Why
Sure.
not?
Yeah.
Rather than cooking myself in an apartment.
Yeah, and it's great to have company, right? Like, have a
You
partner
need
you can share your life with. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, so there was my professor in PAU at that time, Dr. Gurdev Singh Maan, very highly respected. He used to be my sort of advisor when I was in Punjab Agriculture University. And so he introduced me to Grewal family. And he was an extension professor. He used to have a lot of contacts. So he knew this family and introduced me to this family. We were introduced, we liked each other, and I ended up getting married.
That's nice.
So many people ask me, was this a love marriage or was this
Arranged marriage.
right?
We know how marriages in India are made.
Are made, yeah. They are made in heaven, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe that.
Right, all right. So anyway, we were very happy in Philippines. We enjoyed the work, and I worked very hard. And Harvant was a big support. I couldn't have done what she did, We raised 4 beautiful children. She took care of them, and I had a lot of visitors. The directors, the ministers, they used to come. I had to entertain them in my home, and she was always willing.
Handling the
Of course,
house,
we had a lot of help. We had 3 or 4 maids, and
Yeah, but
we
still the responsibility lies on the person who handles
but she
the
had to
household.
organize everything, So it was a very happy life, and it was a small institute. We had scientists from 24 different nationalities, worked with each other, Chinese, Filipinos, Indians, Europeans,
So it was a very diverse
very
place.
diverse group,
Diverse place.
24 nationalities.
So how did you start working on developing new rice varieties? Did that come from like the need that you saw back home, or was it purely a research project? Like what drove that?
Yeah, it was a research project. So my responsibility was, when I accepted the job, that I have to do the breeding, develop new rice varieties. That was the job. And my training was in genetics. My work all on tomato genetics. And
Sure.
that was a very deep kind of genetics, the genome of tomato I was studying. But having that background was very helpful in breeding. because then you can apply that knowledge in breeding.
In developing new
Developing
varieties.
new varieties.
Yeah.
So it took me a couple of years to get to know all the rice, how rice look. I had never seen rice plant, So they gave
Why?
me this
But
job.
when you were growing up in India,
There was no rice in Punjab at
Oh,
that
really?
time. It used to be only along the rivers in the small strips. So I had never seen rice plant. And Punjabis didn't eat rice either, We used to always three meal chapatis.
yeah, wheat.
Wheat.
was the predominant crop in Punjab.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that was the main.
So when did that shift happen?
It shift happened in the late 1970s. So when we introduced the rice varieties in Punjab, they were very suitable. The varieties which were a little bit grown, as I mentioned, along the river sides, they were produced, they were low yielding, very
Sure.
tall, took about 6 months to ripen, and the productivity was very low. So when we introduced new varieties, their yield was 3 times what they were growing before.
So were you instrumental in developing the method of puddling and like growing rice the way it is grown now? Or did you guys grow it differently then?
No, I think that puddling that was developed even before we introduced the.
Okay.
Let us say about same time when they introduced the new variety, then the farmers started puddling.
Was it suggested by the scientists or was it like purely, it happened on ground?
I think it was primarily the farmers. They learned it from other provinces to find out how the puddling is done, because since they were not growing rice, they were growing only wheat.
Yeah.
So they will learn it doing the puddling and growing rice from the other provinces. And so they started this. It's a very laborious process of puddling.
Yeah, it is.
And so we will come to that issue
Sure.
of water because that's very important.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back to IRI, we call it IRI, International Rice Research Institute. So that was a challenge which I faced, to with my background in genetics, it was easy to develop the rice variety. But important was first to learn about the crop.
Sure.
Because tomato, wheat, they're grown differently, and this was the puddling. So to go into the paddy, in the puddle fields, to look at the rice plant, that was a different experience. So the lot of varieties came, but IR 36 was the first which changed the scenery for all of Asia.
Yes.
Due to several reasons. One is that its yield is very high. It matures in short duration.
Yes.
Old varieties used to take 6 months. This could be harvested in 3 months.
3 months.
So you can
So
grow
a shorter cycle and then you
shorter
can rotate.
You can grow 2 crops instead of 1. Then when you introduce new crops, then the new diseases also come. Insects, new diseases. So our main emphasis after breaking this yield barrier was developing the rice varieties with resistance to diseases and insects. That's why I wrote that book on disease insect resistance. So we developed varieties with major resistance to 5-6 diseases, 3-4 insects, which could be grown without any pesticides. That was another focus. Because when the first varieties which came, they were not resistant. So the disease insect became a problem. So we put a lot of emphasis on developing multiple resistance to diseases and insects. So yield potential, then short
Disease
duration,
resistance.
disease and insect resistance, grain quality became most top priority. So we developed varieties with very palatable quality.
Sure.
Year 64, which became the world famous after 36. It had very high palatability, very nice eating quality. So I think that took me 35 years to do all those things,
But
And
it changed the landscape, right?
it
It
changed
changed
the
the
landscape.
landscape of the world. Did you ever imagine your research would feed billions of people?
Well, at that time we didn't know. What we were doing was to change the rice varieties, and how they were adopted worldwide is just a amazing, Rice was grown in all the Asian countries. 90% of the rice grown in the world is grown in Asia.
That's right.
90%, all the countries. So India, Indonesia, Thailand, wherever you go, rice was the
Sure.
king.
It's a staple crop,
Staple crop.
especially throughout Asia and now
Sure.
also other parts of the world. Yeah.
Exactly. So three people ate rice, all three meals. So the new varieties, they were so adapted to these countries, high yield and also resistance, shorter cycle. So they were
So everybody adopted very
adopted so
quickly.
rapidly. Within 15, 20 years, the older varieties disappeared. Nobody knows how the older varieties even look like. So the new varieties took over all of Asia. And that was admirable. So what it meant was that I got the invitation to visit all these countries, work with their local scientists. I got the scientists for training. People came to work with me for MSc and PhD. I had almost 80 students.
Wow.
Uh,
And you taught them how to grow these, take care of these varieties, develop
and
more.
also develop new varieties.
New-
So you train them for developing new varieties, so that when they go back, they do their own breeding
Yeah, and they see what's right for their atmosphere, which is in that part of the
in
country,
their
or
country,
which
whole
country.
country,
Yeah, yeah.
adapted to their environment.
So was government what was government of these countries instrumental in implementing production of rice? Did
Yes.
they actively
Oh, yes.
encourage farmers to do
All
so?
these countries, so when they send these varieties, they of course then their extension project, they will test and distribute the seeds to the local farmers, and the farmers of naturally adopted because of their better yield, and the materials which we sent to each of these countries, because we have hundreds of varieties, they will be tested in local countries.
Oh.
They will
So
then
you
pick
sent
up
them the
their own.
varieties. Got it.
They pick up their own from the, as I say, we send thousands of breeding lines. They could pick what is suitable for their country. So that's how these new varieties spread all over Asia. And the scientists, these scholars which came to work with us, they took the seeds with them. They made the crosses, helped develop the local conditions.
Got it.
So everywhere it was a breakthrough, and that's how the rice production increased so rapidly. And before the Green Revolution, there were a lot of problems of
Yeah, there was
food
hunger, there was food
hunger,
insecurity, famines.
and this food security, poverty. Poverty
Yeah.
was the biggest problem, and so at that time books were written. Famine. There was a very famous book written by Paul and William Paddock. He wrote a book that was in the 70s. There will be big famine. Half of the world will die because of the food shortages. So this was the Green Revolution, which changed the whole scenario.
Right.
And with the wheat coming from Mexico, rice from Philippines, both crops were taken over.
Yeah. And hence Punjab also flourished because of these two crops,
All this prosperity in Punjab because of rice and wheat.
rice and wheat. Yeah.
And before that, now you see the criticism. There are some social scientists, that the Green Revolution was not that good, and
No, but it was needed then, right?
it was
It was need based. It wasn't like it wasn't a choice. If we didn't do it, we would have
you will
died.
be starved. You
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
starved.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's right.
But now, you know, the scenario has changed.
Yes.
If I talk about Punjab for a minute,
Yes.
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਣਕ ਤੇ ਝੋਨਾ ਉਗਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ।
Yes.
ਕਣਕ ਝੋਨਾ ਉਗਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਘਟ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਝੋਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਡਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਮੈਥਡ ਨਾਲ ਉਗਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ। It has led to imbalance in the environment because of excess production of rice over other crops. What do you have to say about that?
Actually, rice is blamed for the problem of shortages of water, right? When before rice was introduced in Punjab, there was only one crop, only wheat. There was no crop during this summer. So white wheat was grown during the winter. During the summer, the fields were vacant. Okay, so you are using one crop, which was sufficient for water was available. Then came the dams and the canals. So the rice was introduced. Rice, when you use two crops, you need the more water. So that water which was used for one crop, it used to be crop for two crops. So double cropping created the problem of shortage of water. And rice production, it's an ancient method of puddling. And the reason for is that you puddle the soil, then the weeds don't come up. And you transplant rice. And puddling takes, so for growing 1 kilogram of rice, you need 15-20 kilograms of more water anyway.
Right.
So if you reduce puddling, that puddling takes 30% of the water for growing rice. Puddling need a lot of water. Soil is dry, you put water, then you puddle, and you need a lot of water.
So you need to prepare the soil first
Prepare
and then
the
sort of,
soil
you know,
for-
make sure
for-
that the
for-
water stays.
For transplanting. So if you can get away from puddling, you can reduce 30% of water reduction. All over Asia, puddling used to be the
Primary method
method.
Grow rice.
Even in Europe, I once went to Italy. They showed me where they grow rice. And there was the experiments, there was a lot of bedding. I said, what are those beddings for? They said, when we used to transplant rice, we used to bring school children. So we put these buildings, they put those buildings for So even in Europe, all rice was transplanted. Now nobody transplants it because they have developed the method, either by machines or by, in California, they broadcast it in the standing water, or they puddle, they prepare the soil, not puddling, but they can prepare the soil as wet soil, level
got
it,
it.
then you can sow the seed, and that comes the direct seeding, they call it. It is all over the world is direct seeding or by machine transplanting.
And we're still at puddling, right?
We are still doing the puddling.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why are we stuck there?
Well, I think because the labor was available, we got the cheap labor from UP and all those areas. So the Punjabis
nobody
don't want to. The
Nobody tried
Punjabis
hard
don't
enough to
want to
solve
do
that
the
problem.
transplanting. So they got this labor from outside. Okay, cheap labor. Let's use this for
And continue doing what we're doing.
what we're doing. So now the pressure is because of the water becoming a more precious. When you pump you pump the water for two crops, the water table is going down. So that's becoming a serious problem. On my own farm, we have to go what they call deep tube wells and things like that. So that's the big problem. And there are fears that in the next 20 years we won't be able to grow rice in Punjab because water has been depleted. We were using the fossil water,
Right.
which has been there.
Groundwater, yes.
Groundwater. And what comes from rain or canals, That's not sufficient to grow two crops. So that's the major issue.
What do you think is going to be the future of Punjab?
Future of Punjab is we have to continue to use the new technologies. Like for growing rice, we have to use the new technology. So that, but then there is also feeling that we should not grow rice on all the area like we do. We grow 3 million hectares of rice. It used to be only 200,000 hectares under rice in Punjab, now 3 million. So we have to diversify. We diversify from wheat and rice. There is a lot of emphasis on this, lot of research is going on, what crops we can grow so that we don't need all the water what we have that we are using. So there are possibilities, and we have talked. I have recommended rather than growing wheat, you grow mustard. We buy import edible oils from Canada.
So fuel crops.
Fuel crop.
Fuel crops.
Yes. And so we have been saying that you reduce the area under wheat, grow the other crops, and in summer, rather than growing rice alone, grow some dals, pulses
Lentils
and other crops. So there is a lot of emphasis on diversification.
Do you think the farmers are supported enough by research institutions and the government in order to make that shift?
The technology is well. PAU has done a lot of work. They are testing all these other crops. They have developed varieties of other crops like mustard, as I mentioned. So there is a good extension system also. But again, there is one problem. None of the crops is as economic as rice.
Right.
So difficult to replace.
And
Farmers
it's also
say
because of MSP, right? That there is an assurance on rice and wheat that you will get a certain amount of money, and then that guarantees you, because we can't take care of natural disasters or things that are out of our control.
Exactly.
But having that guarantee helps you have a certain amount of money come in, right?
that's why the farmers they don't want the MSP to go because they have a assured income. Any farmer anywhere, if he wants the assured welcome, assured income, he will welcome it.
Yeah.
So that's one problem. And because the farmers' income from rice and wheat is so good, they don't want to change
And we've
it.
also gotten used to it, right?
Gotten used to it. And to shift to other crops. They say, give us the crop which will give us the same yield. So farmer is he's a best economist, they want what's good for them.
Makes sense.
So that's one problem.
When we were in India, we did an episode on fuel crops and how we could use them to produce our own fuel rather than importing it from other countries, which could solve one problem. So the money would stay within, like within the economy of Punjab, the local economy, and also the national economy. But that being said, it could also be sort of help with crop diversification and help with other problems that are being caused by rice and wheat. But the final sort of take on that was that we need policies and platforms by the government to ensure that we can experiment growing these crops and hence producing end products from these crops. So if you're talking about fuel, actually being able to use the fuel crops for fuel. There was also a discussion that maize or makki is grown as a fuel crop.
As a fuel crop.
It's actually a food crop. But
yes.
rather than doing that, we should do Napier or other crops which are directly fuel crops and create small biomass pellets out of that, which can act as a fuel and also reduce our dependence on imported fuel, like oil coming from the other countries, as you know.
Exactly.
So we did discuss that in detail, but I feel like there's so much more we need to do, in terms of discussing it and also sort of creating these platforms to facilitate that growth or that shift in production of other crops.
Exactly.
I wanted to talk about your journey again, wanted to go back to it again.
sure.
You know, you've traveled so many countries, you've been in more than 69 countries for research.
Yeah.
Are there any interesting stories from your journeys, anything that surprised you and which you hadn't known or been exposed to as a, you know, young boy from Punjab?
Well, you know, we have such a high respect in all these countries. You mentioned 69 countries. Nowhere I went on the airport where I had to look for a taxi. I was always received in person, everywhere. So that was
beautiful.
one, you know, which is good memories, you know. Then of course there were places where in Vietnam, at that time Vietnam was still divided. I was working in South Vietnam, and North Vietnam was under different rule. So once I was working in the rice fields, and I saw the helicopter on the
Above the fields.
above the fields. And my local contact told me that they are looking for Viet Cong, the guys who were fighting. These were the Americans were controlling that. So Americans were having these programs, you know, to eliminate those people who were fighting for whatever reason, you know. So I saw the helicopter, and that was a little bit scary, you know. The bomb can drop anywhere, you know.
So you've been through the Vietnam
We
War
had
and
to
like
go
that
through
period.
Vietnam War. Then finally in 1975, I was in the mountains of Vietnam. We were looking at a rice which is called upland rice. It's it's a small type of rice grows in the hills. So I was with the Vietnamese colleagues, and we were looking at upland rice in the hills. And when I was there, I heard that the North Vietnamese army is about 50 miles from that place.
Oh.
So I just came back to Saigon. It's now Ho Chi Minh City. And 1 week later, that army came and they took over Saigon. All the Americans were running.
wow.
And I was lucky. 1 week earlier, I was there and I came back,
Wow.
flew back before that. That was one incident. But there were many good incidents, you know, where farmers will come and they will talk to you, and they said, how did you do this or this and that, you know. And so I would give lectures in their universities, and that was very inspiring, you know, working with the local.
Yeah, it's very humbling to like
very-
be able to really see the impact of your research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were awarded the Padma Shri in 2000. You have the Japan Award. You have the World Food Prize, which is the highest order. How do you feel about getting all these awards and recognitions from several countries across the world? How do you carry the weight of these?
Well, there is not really weight. It's a honor. I think this is the biggest honor, and we were lucky, you know, to get these honors. And all my family, they will go with me. We will be there for a week or 10 days and traveling in these countries like Japan. They took us to the palace and introduced us to the king of. Emperor of Japan and things like that. So it used to be a very good experience. We enjoyed all the honors and all the courtesies and made very good friends all over the world. And so it was good, and we got some honorariums, you know, we got the money for in some of the awards. I didn't want to use that for our own purpose. I gave it to establish a foundation in Punjab Agriculture University. I gave 3 crores, you know, rupees there. So the income from that comes to give the awards, the honor, the scholarships to the needy students. We give out 70 to 80 scholarships to the students. Then sometimes, the faculty members or students, they want to go attend some meeting, we give them some money to travel and help them to expand their horizon. So that has been a very rewarding experience. Working with the new students and
so you're able to like circle back and give it back to your alma mater.
Back to my alma mater and the society,
Yeah.
which provided me all that those facilities when I was growing up. So it has been a honor and very rewarding.
So you're a world-renowned scientist. What is your opinion on religion?
I grew up in a Sikh family. I believe in Sikhism. I think that's the best religion. Not that it is the only one. Every religion is good, and it's a people which have. It's a good way of life. You know, if you are a religious person, you can follow the right kind of path. But I think every religion is good. I believe in Sikhism because it has one of the newest religions. For it, everybody is same, everybody is equal.
You know why I asked you that question is because scientists are very rational people. You know, they go with logic.
Yes.
And they have a hypothesis and they try to prove it, and they believe in what they can prove, right? God or religion philosophies are abstract.
Yes.
And I always have this question for anybody in the scientific field, and I'm always curious to know if they believe in religion or God. Do you think your belief system in the religion or your faith has helped you grow or succeed?
Yes, I always thought that having been born in a religious family, it was good feeling, you know. But I don't believe any dogmas or anything. I'm not sure whether I believe in God or not. But according to Sikhism, there is one power, one which controls the whole destiny of everybody, whole world. Ik Omkar, Ik Naam. I believe in that, but I don't know whether you call it God or not.
Interesting. Dr. Khush, for any young scientists who are watching this episode, how can one choose their path? For you it came very naturally. And you said you were interested in plants from the very beginning.
Exactly.
But it's become more complex than that. There's several fields, there's several paths that one can take.
Exactly.
How do you decide on your path?
I think that's a very interesting question. I think our education system trains you to think so that you can decide. You want to become a doctor, you want to become an engineer, you want to become a technician, or you want to become an agriculturist. I think it's some way it comes maybe from the family background. Family background is important. People they can learn from what they are growing up, what their parents did, and I think when you have well-rounded education, then it's easy to decide. Well-rounded education, I mean the schools, so that you can find out what is your interest.
So you mean if the primary education is good,
and high schools,
and if you are exposed to different fields, it's easier to decide what you'd like to pursue versus not having that support early on in life.
Exactly.
Got it. Dr. Khush, you have 60 years of research behind you. What has helped you to stay curious through all these years?
Finding new and new things. I think that was always the force behind, okay, you make this cross, so many things are coming out. Why is it so? To study genetics, there's a curiosity in itself, know. And so working with the plants was my first hobby. Even when I go to the my plants, I have different kinds. I look at it. Why is it that this one is better than the other? And so curiosity is to learn new things, find new things, which I think is very important.
And to continue learning, to continue absorbing what's around you and trying to solve those problems.
And not only that, I try to study in the other fields also, not only genetics, but other related fields, pathology, biology, and things like that. And fortunately, my wife is also very interested in new things, so we talk, we discuss, and learn from each other.
That's beautiful to be able to have that, in your partner.
To have a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can talk about your work and also, life in general.
Right.
I have another question for you.
Sure.
You've had such a successful research career. Your research has helped feed billions of people around the world. You help solve the problem of poverty and also food insecurity in all developing countries. What is the secret of success according to you?
Secret success is work. Work means study and explore new things. One thing is one should utilize your time very well. Time is very important. I tell the younger people what is the reason for success is the people who succeed more, they utilize their time better than the others. Because time wasted never comes back. Time is money. Once it's gone, it's gone. So if you are utilizing your time, that's very important. So people who really advance and succeed, they are dedicated, they utilize their time, work hard. Everybody can work hard, but utilizing the time is very, very important.
Very important. Yeah. You've met several scientists through the course of your journey.
Hundreds of them.
So many of them and so many successful scientists. You share the World Food Prize with Dr. Henry Beecher as well. Is there any quality that you've seen in most successful scientists?
One thing is, the most of people I met, they are humble, they are nice to work with, and they are supportive, they are easy to converse with. I know I have met few people who are very arrogant also, know, and but generally the people like Borlaug and others, Swaminathan was my good friend. They are very polite, very encouraging. They are always willing to help you, and they are encouraging the others. It's very important to encourage the other scientists, and whether younger or your colleagues, working with them and being helpful is very, very important.
So I hear from you that more than the scientific skills, it's like your people skill or like your ability to work with others and form those relationships and encouraging other colleagues. And working collaboratively is something that you've seen in successful scientists.
No one scientist can work alone, can never succeed. I think important is to work with the other colleagues. You learn from each other. That's very important. When you interact, pick the person's brains, find out what you can get, what you learn, you know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's important to be polite, to be humble, to be helpful.
What do you think is the future of agriculture in India and outside of India, in the US?
Okay.
Can you compare these two countries and where we are at? And what do you see with like AI, with technology, with so many changes around us? How can these changes be helpful to us?
AI is definitely going to helpful, but I I'm not still familiar with how we can utilize, but certainly it will be useful. But agriculture is going to continue to evolve. In India, for example, we have too many people on the farms. Almost 50%, 55% of our people are employed in agriculture. So if India has to develop, we have to move those people from agriculture. We have so many people with 2, 3 acres, 5 acres. They cannot really
Make ends
progress,
meet,
make
yeah.
make or progress. So what India needs is more education, more development, more train more people, hundreds, thousands of them, and so that country industrializes. People move from agriculture. There should be.
Industry.
This will help remove the poverty. India still has too much poverty.
Yeah.
You go to the cities, big cities, villages and backward areas, too much poverty. So
Yeah.
if India has to become a world power, it has to improve the living standards of everybody,
Industrialization
industrialization
is the key.
and education. We have enough education. People are 90% educated, but they need a special kind of education.
Yeah, the quality of education
Quality of
needs to be better
education.
in order to train us to do things that the community or the economy needs now.
Exactly, exactly. We have to build the advancements and new technologies, you know, and so India has made progress, but we need to do much more.
Got it.
Yeah,
I think we're still playing catch up with the West.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
when do you think we'll be able to be at par with the West, if at all?
It depends. If we continue the present pace, and we don't have any turmoil. Sometimes there may be, you know, some some problem, political problems. If there is no stability, that could set the clock back. But if we have a continuous political stability, good government is very important.
Then you see progress.
Human humanity should be taken care. Human values should be respected, and we continue to make progress, which is in my estimation is good, fairly good as compared to other Asian countries. We are moving faster. But India is now about fifth in the world on the basis of fifth economy. But it could move to, they are saying it could move to number 3 after US and China. But it will take some time. So important thing is to we develop all over the country. Now some parts are developed very well. Tamil Nadu, Hyderabad, Bangalore.
Bangalore.
So there is so much development. Then you go to UP, Bihar, you know.
Yeah, the other states are
We
suffering.
have to, the other states have to catch up so that we have uniform development all over the country. That will help us move up into the higher levels of prosperity. That's very important. I think prosperity of the country. If you compare the level of standard of living with Europe, China did that in 50 years.
Yeah.
They raised it in 50 years. India could do it, but we didn't do the way, but I think the Chinese way was different. We cannot do in India, but we can still move it so that we have the same type of economy, living standard as Europe.
Right.
That should take another 40 to 50 years. It should happen. And India could become a world power when we reach that.
Yeah, definitely. How do you see agriculture in the US?
Agriculture in the US is fantastic because everything is mechanized and farmers in Iowa, we were there, we visit there quite often, World Food Prize, every year we go there. Some farmer has 4,000 acres, he is managing, he and his wife, two of them
Really?
managing
Because of the-
4,000 acres.
Oh,
you know.
wow.
Everything is, so
Because
they-
it's not very labor intensive.
not labor intensive at all. That's why what we have excess labor on the farms. We should move into industry and we mechanize everything so that poverty, which is because of so many people on the farm, we can eliminate that or slowly and slowly move that. There is some movement in Punjab, for example, the farm size is increasing little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But over time, it's like land holding has decreased.
decreased.
Yeah,
but,
over the years. Yeah.
right.
And hence the net income of a farmer.
Yes.
Because it depends on like how much land you have and how
Yes.
much crop you can grow
Well,
out of it.
80% of the farmers are small farmers in
Right,
India.
right.
You know, you have to see what kind of life they can have.
Right.
Punjab is still little lucky because of wheat and rice. We have good income, but you go to other states, there is a lot of poverty even on the farms. Our farmers are a little bit better than other areas.
How do you think these small farmers can grow?
Small farmers, the land size, farm size has to increase. If the farm size increases, then the farmer's life will be better. Small farms are not that productive, and you can't mechanize it very well. You have to have lot of equipment.
Right.
Small farmers can't afford
Which
it.
also, yeah, which is not accessible
Which
to
is
them.
not.
Yeah.
So there are these contractual farm contracts where they can do the farms and work on other farms. You know, that's a good development, and so that can be helpful in increasing mechanization. But again, coming back, I think we must develop the industry, move these people to the industry, and that will increase the productivity of industry. It will improve the agricultural productivity by raising the farm size by mechanization.
Yeah, definitely. Last few questions. You know, I'm closing up here. Dr. Khush, you've seen the world. You've had a lot of exposure in the scientific world. You've seen ups and downs. You've seen different governments. You've met with so many farmers. Across the world, there's lots of unhappiness. There's lots of unrest due to several factors. What, according to you, is the secret of happiness?
Secret of the happiness is as what is our best writer in India,
Khushwant Singh?
Khushwant Singh. He wrote 10 things. He says one is very important is you should have enough resources. You don't need to be multimillionaire. If you have enough bank balance, you can go sometime, have some meal outside. That's very important. Second is you should have very understanding partner. If you don't have, then you have kishmish at home. You cannot be happy. You know, it's better to go and change your partner. And then he says you should have some good hobbies and prepare some hobbies like reading or writing, doing something which takes your keep you busy. And don't allow people to come and visit you for gup shop, you know. Don't waste your time. And so one of the things which I have very lucky is I have most of the components for happiness. Good friends, good family, good partners, and enough for living. And you know, I think satisfaction is very important. You should be satisfied what you have. If you are worrying, you are jealous of somebody is doing better than you, that's a negative, you know. Don't be jealous of anybody. I think it's important to be happy and satisfied.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, I had a great time. Thank you for such a beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
I learned a lot from you.
Thank you
And
very much.
your journey is exceptional. You've achieved a lot. And this is a small way of me to say thank you for your contributions.
No, it's a pleasure, my honor, and I am sure your audience will be happy that you took the effort, you came all the way.
We had to do this, you know. It was totally worth it, you know, for someone like you who's achieved so much. And it's not just the material success or like, you know, it's just, there's a lot behind it, right? You're 90 years old, there's so many years of learning, you know, reiterating, failing behind you that has gotten you where you are, right?
I know. It has been a good journey. Actually, I'm 92, 2 years
You're
less.
oh my God, there you go.
In the paper 90. So when I was born, I was 7 years old. I mean, when I went to school, I was 7 years. Teacher says, you know, how old is this? My grandmother says, just put 5 years. I was 7 years old. She says, put 5 years.
So you're actually 2 more years. That's great, right? You're in great health, and you know, I hope that you stay in good spirits
Thank
and
you.
you continue living a very comfortable, happy, healthy life,
Yes.
which becomes especially important at this stage, which is wonderful. And I'm so happy to see you in good health, good shape, and you're able to like
Thank
you know
I have been
sit
very
through the whole
lucky.
interview, which is
I am
fantastic.
very lucky, you know. I got probably good genes from my father.
You never know you worked on them.
That's right. That's
Being
right.
a genetist.
Yes, and I think food, that's up to you what you eat. So genetics and food both are important. We have been very lucky. When I was growing up, my family had do majjans, you know, where you have to have enough milk and butter,
right.
you know. So we grew up on animal food, you know, butter and milk
Dairy.
and chapatis.
Yeah.
Good wheat chapatis.
Yeah.
Once a reporter came to interview me, you know, he says, after talking, I said, I grew up in Punjab. He said, do you like wheat? No. What do you like to eat every day? I said, we eat chapatis.
Of course.
He wrote in the next day in the newspaper, world's greatest rice breeder wants to eat chapatis.
That's funny. Dr. Khush, when you look back at your journey, do you have any regrets or anything you would do differently in your life?
Not really. It has just, it came flowed like that, you know. That setback when I had not getting the visa for Canada, I thought that was a little bit of a disappointment, but it turned out even better than that, you know. So I have had a wonderful life, working with getting to good school, going to good school, that's the most important, getting good education. Then working in an institute, there was a lot of support. We never had shortage of funds in this institute, latest equipment, working with all the scientists from different parts of the world. So it was a, you know, was really wonderful journey.
For the young generation now, you know, watching this episode, what would you say to them? You know, it's a different world. It's different from when you grew up, and it's very different for, you know, me and my kids.
Exactly.
What would you say to someone who's navigating their life professionally or personally today?
Yes, yes. I would say that our life was so simple. We didn't have too much equipment, no, not much machinery, nothing, you know. So I think when the young people grow up, they should try to learn so many things, you know, different fields, not concentrate just on one. Try to learn a broad education. And
So diversify your skill set.
diversify skills and try to keep up with the latest developments in the technology, you know, AI, you know, you
Yeah.
have to learn that.
Right. So the key is to constantly keep learning and keep
Upgrading-
evolving.
Upgrading
Yeah.
your
Skill
own
set.
abilities, you know, your own education.
I think that keeps you going.
Exactly.
Well, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. I really
Sure.
enjoyed this conversation, and thank you for
it's,
hosting us today.
Wonderful
Thank you.
to meet you, and I know you are very hardworking, going from place to place, getting. I think this will be very good for the future generations.
I hope so. This is like my very small but very genuine effort to do so. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Good
I
contribution
hope
to
so.
the society. Yeah,
thank you.
very nice.